reading parts of the highway code. Today we're going to be doing the hierarchy of driving, which is basically, if you're bigger than something else, then you've got more responsibility to looking after them. So if you're in a big truck, you've got to look after the cars and anything smaller. If you're in a car, you've got to look after things that are smaller, bikes, motorcycles, horse riders, stuff like that. So the hierarchy of driving, which is at the front of the highway code. So let's just do this today. So the hierarchy of road users. The hierarchy of road users is a concept that places those road users most at risk in the event of a collision at the top of the hierarchy. The hierarchy does not remove the need for everyone to behave responsibly. The road users most likely to be injured in the event of a collision are pedestrians, cyclists, horse riders and motorcyclists, with children, older adults and disabled people being more at risk. The following H rules clarify this concept. Rule H1. It is important that all road users are aware of the highway code. They're considerate to other road users and understand their responsibility for the safety of others. Everyone suffers when a road collision occurs, whether they are physically injured or not. But those in charge of vehicles that can cause the greatest harm in the event of a collision bear the greatest responsibility to take care and reduce the danger they pose to others. This principle applies most strongly to drivers of large goods and passenger vehicles, minivans, vans, cars, taxis and motorcycles. Cyclists, horse riders and drivers of horse-drawn vehicles likewise have a responsibility to reduce danger to pedestrians. None of this detracts from the responsibility of all road users, including pedestrians, cyclists and horse riders, to have regard for their own and other road users' safety. I'm smiling because when this first came into the highway code in 2022, there was loads of videos of just pedestrians walking into the road and trying to stop traffic. Yeah, that was a crazy time. I don't know how long you've been on social media with all of this stuff, but that was a bonkers time. And it says right here that you need to look over after your own life and not walk out in front of traffic if you're a pedestrian or a smaller road user. Always remember that people you encounter may have impaired sight, hearing or mobility. This may not be obvious. Rule H2. Rule for drivers, motorcyclists, horse-drawn vehicles and horse riders and cyclists. At a junction, you should give way to pedestrians crossing or waiting to cross a road into which or from which you were turning. Yeah, you need to give way to pedestrians waiting or crossing, yeah, unless they give up their priority or if you think it's too dangerous to stop. Okay, that's on your driving lessons. You can fail for not giving way to pedestrians if you were supposed to. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Let's talk about the rule H2 in further detail. You must, guys, if you see a must when you're reading the highway code, because I know you're going to read it. I know you're going to read it cover to cover. You must give way to pedestrians on zebra crossing. But basically, if you see a must or must not, it's the law, okay? And if you go against the law, the most serious thing that could happen is you can go to prison. Where does it say it? Such rules identified by the use of the words must not. So you may be fined, given penalty points on your licence or be disqualified from driving. In the most serious cases, you will be sent to prison. Yikes. You must give way to pedestrians, H2, on zebra crossings and pedestrians and cyclists on parallel crossings. See Rule 195. Yeah, we can do that another time. Pedestrians have priority when on a zebra crossing. On a parallel crossing is like a fancy toucan crossing, toucan cross. So bikes and pedestrians can use a toucan crossing, and a parallel is like really, really fancy one. Basically, the cyclists and the pedestrians have their own little bit to stay in. Pedestrians have priority when on a zebra crossing, on a parallel crossing, or a light controlled crossing when they have a green signal, green man. You should give way to pedestrians waiting to cross a zebra crossing and to pedestrians and cyclists waiting to cross a parallel crossing. Horse riders should also give way to pedestrians on a zebra crossing because they're bigger than the pedestrian, and pedestrians and cyclists on a parallel crossing. Cyclists should give way to pedestrians because they're bigger than a pedestrian, on shared use cycle tracks, and to horse riders on bridleways. The only pedestrians may use the pavement. Pedestrians include wheelchair and mobility scooter users. Pedestrians may use any part of the road and use cycle tracks as well as the pavement unless there are signs prohibiting pedestrians. Okay, so last one, that one was H2, pedestrians. So now let's just finish this off by rule H3, which is the, we're talking about cyclists. And yeah, well, anyway, I'll go into it. So this is for the rule for drivers and motorcyclists. You should not cut across cyclists, horse riders and horse-drawn vehicles going ahead when you're turning into or out of a junction or changing direction or lane, just as you would not turn across the path of another motor vehicle. So check it out, guys. If you're turning left, the cyclist has been given priority, or the horse has been given priority to go past you first. That's why your left mirrors are so important, yeah? Got to do it, because it's in the highway code, as you know, that's who you're supposed to be giving way to. Do not turn at a junction if to do so you would cause the cyclist, horse rider or horse-drawn vehicle going straight ahead to stop or swerve. You should stop and wait for a safe gap in the flow of cyclists if necessary. This includes when cyclists are approaching or passing or moving off from a junction, moving past or waiting alongside stationary or slow-moving traffic, and travelling around a roundabout. All right, guys, so there again, got to give way to smaller vehicles when you're turning left or coming out of junctions, yeah, just like I said. There's the picture about giving way to pedestrians when you're going into or coming out of a junction. Please remember that it's the waiting pedestrian as well. It's not just the crossing ones, it's the waiting ones, unless they give up their priority very blatantly, or it's too unsafe, or they're taking, like, basically they don't know they've got priority and they just don't move. You just need to take your initiative then. All right, so that was the hierarchy of road users. I hope that part of the highway code has helped you today, and I'll see you on the next one.